Good evening, and welcome to Raven Rants. This is your girl, Raven, the serial poet, coming to you. I know it's been a while, but I'm back, y'all. I'm back. So tonight, I want to touch bases on it's being Pride Month and considering how Pride Month has been because of the whole Black Lives Matter and definitely dealing with the coronavirus. Pride Month has been canceled, so they thought. We have just united with the Black Lives Matter protests to support and basically show love to the fact that all Black Lives Matter. All of them. And in order for us to unite as Black people, we have to realize that. And so tonight I want to touch bases on the fact that why is it okay for Black families to accept junkies, pedophiles, criminals, cheaters, and liars, but the moment that they have a family member in their family that is in the LGBTQ community, it seems as if they have committed the worst crime ever. Why is that? I don't really understand. So it gets to the point to where now morals come into play, because the first thing they like to do in Black families, and I'm not going to exclude other races, but right now I'm talking to Black families exclusively because those be the main ones that pretty much disown their kids the moment, especially if it's a gay Black man. A feminine gay Black man is like he has, it's like he has created this major wedge in the family, or like he has committed the worst crime ever. And so let's talk about it. This is going to be a conversation that I want other people to think about and have, because it is real. And I think that is definitely unfair. I'm not saying that, any other family has it worse or better than the other, because I'm pretty sure they have other races that does just the same. But as I said, I'm talking specifically to Black families, because the first thing they like to do when you come out the closet, which, let's talk about this coming out the closet thing. I want to do more research on that because I don't really know where that terminology came from. But I don't think that the only thing closets should be made for is pretty much clothes. So even though I know they call it coming out the closet and things like that, I don't really agree with that. I want to start calling that, now I'm walking in my truth. I'm accepting me for me. I'm loving myself unapologetically, because it's like at the end of the day, do you see any straight people talk about, oh yeah, I came out to my parents today, I told them I love strictly men, and it's a woman. So make it make sense. Just make it make sense. It does not make any sense to me that we have to call it that. But I digress. Let me get back on task. But I want to know, to the Black heterosexual parents out there that's deep in the church, the Christians, the Southern Baptists, and things like that, the ones that follow the white man's Bible. I want to know, why is it an abomination? Why is it sinful if you do your research and go back to those times, you know, it pretty much was the norm. Nobody got stoned for loving who they love, you know. And the last time I checked, the Bible does not teach hate. But yet you hate and almost kill. Well, it's no almost about it. Y'all hate and kill those of the LGBTQ community. Hell, they even had a father that killed his daughter because she was a lesbian. Make it make sense to me. The first thing y'all want to say, I didn't raise you that way. I'ma hurt a bunch of people's feelings when I say this, but sweetie, your children are on loan. They are not your children. They're God's children. So the fact that God has blessed you with a child to love unconditionally, to, teach and mold and help them grow to be upstanding, beautiful beings. The moment that you see your son with feminine ways, you want to pretty much corrupt their polar minds and push them off on women way too early. Yes, I'm talking about Lil Boosie. I don't agree with what he's doing. And I understand he feels as though, like other parents do, if they push their sons onto women early, that will prevent them from being homosexual. But let me explain something to you. Children, people are going to be whoever God has set forth for them to be. God has written a story already. So you doing that to them is not going to change that. It's just going to pretty much put it on pause for a minute until they get old enough to move out. And then they're going to do it anyway. Which is what a lot of kids end up doing. Yeah, they'll play the little role for you, have a little pretend girlfriend. Or if it's a girl, they had a little pretend boyfriend that they, get to come pick them up from the house. And then they have them to drop them off at their real girlfriend or boyfriend house. You're stopping nothing. If anything, you're pushing your children away, which most of y'all don't really care anyway, because the moment that you even find out that your children are homosexual, bisexual, or pansexual, or want to be, if it's a boy, he wants to be a girl, or if it's a girl, wants to be a boy, you disown your children anyway. But yet, you love the Lord. How can you love the Lord and you can accept his children? But as I said, that's the white man's Bible. I've never followed that book of folklores. And yes, I may make a lot of people mad calling it a book of tall tales, but let's be clear, if you go and do your research, you'll find out that they been rewrote the Bibles, removed all traces of black people from it, and replaced it with more European features, and then gave it to blacks in hopes that it would conform their minds in ways of, oh, you must submit to your masters. And like our ancestors, which, I would never blame them because they didn't know any better. They conformed to that. And to this day, some are still asleep. But for those of you who are woke now, good morning. I'm glad you're woke. Don't go back to sleep. This is not a test. But I digress. Anyway, so getting back to the topic. Why is it that you accept all other sins in your family, but you pretty much throw your children to the wolves when homosexuality comes into the forefront? Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. Now, me, myself, I am a proud black lesbian female. I'm proud about it. I came out, as they say, I came out when I was 31. But I've always liked a girl since I was 13. But going to Southern Baptist Church, they put so much fear in your heart that loving who you love will be wrong, that you will go to hell. But you know what? Most of y'all I would probably save a seat for, because you're doing God's job, which is judging people. That's not your job. That is not your job. So I save you a seat, okay? So I've been liking girls since I've been 13. But I feel like I was trying to live the norm because we were told that it was wrong. And I lived that way. And unfortunately, a tragedy that happened when I was 14 did not help guide me towards men any more than, than I already was, like, veering away from them. And no, that did not make me start liking women. I've been in love with women before then. But it definitely did not make me curious to figure out what I'm missing, which was nothing. So, some lesbians, yes, we're lesbians because of childhood traumas, or maybe adult traumas, or maybe, like I've seen as of late, they have a lot of adult women that's coming out of the closet because, the way men treated them for years. So they just want something different. I'm not knocking anybody for what they want to try at all. But what I will say is, women that's sitting up there and they want to try on the lesbian lifestyle like it's a coat, sweetie, it is a coat that you must be ready to wear, because it comes with ridicule, it comes with hardships, it comes with heartbreak as well, because some of these lesbians are as savage as men. Let's be clear. I would never take up for anybody. Wrong is wrong and right is right. But let's make sure that while you're trying on lesbian lifestyle, make sure that you're emotionally and mentally ready for what is about to take place. Because your emotions will be up, down, and all around played with in some cases. But if you're blessed enough, and if you're lucky enough, you'll find you a woman that will make you feel like you walking on clouds. And you will probably wonder why you didn't try it sooner. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But stop making lesbian a trend. It's not a trend. It's a lifestyle. It's not a taste of a sample at Sam's Club to where you taste it and be like, oh, well, I really don't like it. Don't play with people's feelings. And that's why people end up getting hurt. And not in the sense of heartbreak hurt, but physically hurt. Don't play with people's emotions. Just don't. Now let's move on to trans. I want to know why in the black community or why in the black family do y'all have such a problem with trans people? Like, what is it hurting you for them to live the life that they want to live? I mean, is it taking money out your pocket? Is it taking food out your mouth? Is it, making you homeless? Let's talk about it. Because there are some beautiful and some handsome trans people. We call them FTMs and M to Fs. And that's male to female and female to male. And in some cases, of course, you have the ones that are, I'm probably going to say it wrong, but they have transvestites, they have transsexuals, and they also have another form of trans that I'm not really familiar with, but I've seen popped up as of late. But back in the day, we used to call them cross-dressers. And some to this day call them drag queens. Drag queens and kings. And those are the ones that, they feel like, if it's a woman, they feel like a man. So therefore they take on that role. Or if it's a man and he feels like a woman, he dresses as that role without any surgery or help from the medical field. So it's almost as if you have to, just picture yourself, if you had a son and your son just so happened to grow up and want to be your daughter, you should be accepting of that. It's no reflection on you. You didn't do anything. And stop asking your children every time they come out to you, well, what did I do wrong? Did somebody touch you to make you think? Most of the time, it's not even that. That's just the way they feel inside. And if we want to get scientific about it, let's get scientific about it. Let's talk about it. Most of you think that your boys become flamboyantly gay men or gay men, because I've seen quite a bit buff men, like thug gay men. So it's not always just one type of, gay men in that community, in that spectrum, just like it is with the lesbian community. We have all types over here too. But in the gay men department, they always feel as though a gay boy either was molested or, because he have a lot of sisters, it's because of that. Did you not know, and let me school you on something, did you not know that when a fetus is in the womb, that it is a girl first? Did you know that? The chromosomes, the genital area take form as a girl first. And then it transforms depending on the chromosomes. It does what it do to make a boy. So when they have this joke flying around saying that men's pussy fell out, in a lot of ways that is somewhat true. And if you look deeper into it, into genes and DNA, you'll see that some men, gay men, the flamboyantly gay men, they have more estrogen than testosterone, which is what makes them feel more attracted to men. It's not their fault. It's science. So when they say, oh yeah, I was born this way, they were born that way. And the same thing with lesbians. Lesbians, anytime you ask a real lesbian, a golden star lesbian. Now let's talk about golden star lesbians. Yes, this conversation about to get deep. Golden star lesbians are those who have not been touched in no shape, form, or fashion by a man. They were a virgin until they met their wife or girlfriend. Now, the masculine, or as we call it, I guess the androgynous women of the lesbian community, they can't help that they have more testosterone than estrogen. Because it's science. So while men are walking around talking about, oh, you just haven't had the right dick yet. Sweetie, you you don't have the right dick. You would never. Because it's attached to you. So stop saying that dumb shit. You look dumb. You really do. Leave lesbians alone and stop saying, oh, I fucked a lesbian once. No, you fucked a bisexual woman once. Lesbians would not want anything to do with you. Not nothing. You fucked a bisexual woman who was either dressed as a tomboy or a feminine female. Either way it go, it was not a lesbian, sweetie. Let's be clear. Now let's get back to gay men and transsexuals, or short, trans. I need for the black community to stop condemning black gay men and black trans. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense that 30 men jumped on a trans woman over something as frivolous as they said, or from what I heard on the street, it was because of an accident. So it took 30 men to beat up this one trans woman that looked like she weighed all of $120. For what? And see, men that do stuff like that, y'all are suspect as hell. Because why are you so angry? Why? Because you saw her and for a split second you was attracted to her, and so now you're angry because now you realize, or you've come to the understanding that her is used to be a he, and so now you're mad because now you're questioning your sexuality? Or are you mad because she looked at that good and she fooled you? Now don't get me wrong, I would never give trans people a pass for, fooling anybody, not telling them the truth up front. I don't condone that either. I feel as though if you trans, you should tell whoever it is that you're dating immediately, especially if they don't know. Because you want to be fair. You want people to make their own mind up on whether or not they want to even deal with you, especially if it's a trans man dating a woman and you used to be a woman. It's only fair that you let them know up front. And I understand, the mindset of, oh, well, it's my business. Why should I tell anybody? Because God forbid, let's play devil's advocate. God forbid that these people find out that you are or used to be a woman and that you're a trans man. Now, if she's in love with you and she really don't care about any of those things, then she'll probably stay. But those who don't want to stay, or those who, it's not with the lifestyle, it could go one of two ways. They can hurt you, or they could hurt you. And either way it go, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look at all. So, to the trans community, if you come across this podcast, please listen to me and heed what I'm telling you. You must be honest. Let people make up their own mind, because it's only fair. Now, pansexuals, I really didn't get into pansexuals. I don't really know too much about them, except for the fact that you could be a man or a woman that fall in love with personalities and not parts. So I've seen a lot of pansexuals to where if it's a woman, a lesbian woman, for whatever reason, she don't mind dating a FTM. And I'm assuming it's because it used to be a female, or, it looks like a man, but it still have female parts. Just like I said, I'm still new to the pansexual realm of things. Because I think as they started adding on letters to the LGBTQ community, all of a sudden I saw a P pop up, and I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? But along the way, I want people to take the chance and take the opportunity, as will I, to educate themselves more on these labels, because they are important to people's well-being, and you want to make sure that you respect everyone, no matter what they describe themselves as. And we should respect people in general, but it's a lot of people that will never, because they believe what they want to believe, and that's fine, that's cool. But I don't want people to start thinking that it's okay just because you believe what you believe to disrespect anybody of the LGBTQ community. It's not cool. So I'm going to get off pansexuals, because just like I said, I don't really know too much about them. But I am going to touch on bisexuals now. The reason why I left bisexuals for later, or for last, excuse me. The reason why I saved bisexuals for last is because that is the most common label that I've been seeing people adopting. Because I've heard that for men, they was like, oh, it's easier to come out as bisexual than as of gay. Or for women, it's easier to come out as bisexual because it's not strictly lesbian. But I want to touch on that. If you're a if you're a bisexual man, but you only sleep with men, but you date women, sweetie, you're gay. Sorry. And vice versa for women. If you're a woman that claims bisexual and you sleep with men, but you've never sexually been with a woman, but you'll talk to her, you're straight. Or vice versa. Like if you've only slept with women, but you won't even let a man touch you, you're a lesbian, sweetie. Come on out the closet. We have a party waiting for you. Anyway, let me stop being funny. But yeah, bisexuals have a stigma of being greedy, of being cheaters, and in some retrospect, that is true. Let's be honest, that is true to some people, not all. Because in this life, everybody has been curious at one point or another. And for men, you can pretty much tell when they're curious because they get extra defensive when a gay guy gives them a simple compliment. Man, let me say something. Just because a gay man gives you a compliment don't mean that he wants you. So don't be getting your boxes all hyped up and chest all puffed out, and now you want to fight the gay man. You will want to leave these gay men alone, because just because they flamboyant don't mean they don't got them hands. You better leave them alone. I'm telling you. You don't want that type of heat on you. But, let's not do that. If a gay guy give you a compliment, just say thank you, bruh. And keep it pushing. There ain't no need for the extra. And the same thing with straight women. Just because a lesbian might look at you and be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? If you was gay, I should totally hit you up. Don't let that go to your head. Don't do it. And the same thing that if we be like, oh, well, you're not my type, then you want to get defensive. What you mean I'm not your type? What you mean da-da-da-da-da? No. You need to pick a side, because if you happy with your husband and your boyfriend, why are you upset because a lesbian does not want you? Make it make sense, sweetie. Make it make sense. So, bisexuals, the ones that do the right thing and, they date one or the other one at a time, thank you. Thank you for killing that stigma. Because for years, people labeled bisexuals very promiscuous, and y'all not all like that. Y'all are not all like that. Now the ones that are like that, hey, that's your business. Do what you do, but be safe about it. Be safe about it, and don't bring no kids into the bull crap. Because the kids didn't ask for that. You gotta be, you have to be fair. So, we touched bases on lesbians. We touched bases on gay men. We touched bases on trans. And we touched bases on bisexuals. Now, I don't really know if y'all know that they are people in this world that are asexual. Like, do you know that they have people that have not been touched by a female or male, and they have no desire of doing so? And a lot of people feel as though these people are weird or strange or whatever, but that's not even the case. Now, asexuals, which I think they call it intersexual people, they come in two different spectrums. One side is the ones that has been virgins all their life and probably will be virgins till death, unless, someone takes it upon themselves to take something that don't belong to them. And then they have the other side of the spectrum, which are hermaphrodites, and those the ones that are really, they don't willingly set forth to date anybody because they feel as though they will be judged, looked up as a freak, and they just don't want the hassle or the trouble of having to explain why they are the way that they are. And it's unfortunate because they have a lot of beautiful people that have both parts. But they shy away from society because society is so immature that they can't deal with the fact that, yeah, people are different. And the black community definitely is on the spectrum for that. And it's the worst when it comes to that. Y'all are not accepting of anybody that is different. Some of you. I'm not going to say all. But some of you are terrible when it comes to that. And it's disgusting. And at one point, I used to hate being a part of the black community. Because I'm like, y'all really will accept junkies, pedophiles, and everything but the LGBTQ community. And that's sad and pathetic. But then I had to realize that I can't change the way people think. And it is not my job to validate or to make okay the lifestyles of others. But what I will say is, some of you that is doing people dirty, that is kicking your kids out because they're different, or whatever the case may be, yeah, it's a special it's a special place in hell for y'all. And no, I'm not judging. I'm just speaking facts. It's a special place. And I hope that before it's too late, that y'all wake up and make your wrongs right. If you have kids that you have disowned because they're different, unless they're a freaking pedophile, which y'all, just like I said, for some reason y'all accept the pedophile before y'all accept, LGBTQ children. And it's sad. But unless they just done committed this major atrocity of a crime, I don't see why you would not want to love your children that you birthed, that you nursed, some of you, that you took care of, that you raised, up until the point where they say, hey mom, hey dad, hey mom and dad, if it's a girl, I like girls. Or if it's a boy, I like boys. Or if it's a daughter, mom, I want to be a boy. And vice versa. You get it. But the moment that those words is uttered, some of you are accepting, and I applaud you. You are doing parenting right. But for those of you who kick your kids out into a world that already don't like their skin, but you're kicking them out to the wolves to be harassed, to be killed, to be raped, whatever. And then when you see the error of your ways and you like, oh, you're calling them and now they're missing. And now you want to cry about it. And now you want to play the woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda music when you have one job as a parent. One. And that's to love your kids no matter what. That's it. That's it. That's all. So, I'm going to end this podcast by saying, fathers, mothers, whether you're single or whether you're a mother and father duo, whatever your children grow up to be, and if it's not the norm, it's not your fault. So stop blaming yourself. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. So stop it. Love your kids. Accept your kids. If they're under 18, help your kids develop a sense of self so when they get older and they meet these men or women or whoever they decide to date, that it won't take a toll on them. So they don't have mommy issues. So they don't have daddy issues. Trying to find it in the person that they're dating. Let's raise beautiful, well-rounded, respectable, loving individuals. The world needs that right now. We don't need any more hate in the world right now. We have enough. Especially against black people. So if you're saying Black Lives Matter, make sure to start saying all Black Lives Matter. Don't exclude the LGBTQ community. So with that being said, I'm going to give y'all my thought of the night before I close out this podcast. And my thought is, don't throw shade, especially if you know you have an orchid growing in somebody's backyard. So this has been your girl Raven, the serial poet, signing off. And this has been another episode of Raven Rants. Good night, y'all, and be blessed.